All right, just a short episode for you today. We are going to be talking about what it's like to be a developer. Now, you may be pursuing a different sort of career or a professional role, but as a developer, I have experience. I'd like to share that with you because a lot of people wonder what's it like to be a developer. All right, so before the pandemic started, I would have some days where I would drive into my job, wherever it was around the Twin Cities here in Minnesota. Sometimes I'd spend half hour driving, most of the times close to an hour of travel just to get to my job, just because I live on the outskirts of the suburbs. So there is a little bit of commute and demand for people to be on site for some of the developer positions. Now, since the pandemic started, of course, we were all working from home, and as a developer, I got to work from home, and I still do. So I work from home every single day that I have to report to work. So I usually get up and do some things before I start work. I get up and I maybe clean, get ready a little bit, read my Bible, I'll pray, maybe I'll go on a walk, but usually I haven't been doing that recently because I'll take a break in the afternoon to exercise, lift weights, and do some cardio. But usually I'll get it started with work 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I will grab some breakfast after a while, maybe some tea, some black tea with a little bit of caffeine. Go upstairs. I work downstairs in a basement, and I'm in a cozy closet. It's very small, but it works. And I can just go upstairs anytime I want and grab whatever I want. It's pretty ideal. I don't know if there's a better situation for a work from home situation that I've seen out there. So I do have it pretty easy that way. The demands I have during the day then are to get to the meetings that I'm assigned to. As a developer, I've been a lead developer also. I don't think that it's super consistent as to what I have to do as far as meetings go. So the meetings can be spotty. I could have every 2 weeks a solid day of meetings, but most days, I'd say on average, I have meetings with teammates or stakeholders, formal meetings, maybe one per day or less, because a lot of the communication happens on Slack, to be honest. We will have a ton of communication on Slack during the day. We'll approve people's pull requests. We will look at code. We will do a little bit of maybe some screen sharing. That's pretty rare. We will, look at tickets and evaluate tickets together and that sort of thing. But those are all what we call asynchronous meetings. So you don't really have to go to a meeting on Microsoft Teams or Zoom or what have you. Early in the afternoon, I will, as I mentioned, I may work out every other day or so. And then later in the afternoon, 3:30, 4, that's kind of average when I might get done with work. That it doesn't seem like that's a full day, but it tends to be full because lunch tends to be just built into my hours because our distributed team, it just helps to not take a huge break in the middle of the day for me. Our team is all around the world, and so it helps to not do that. Now, as far as other aspects of working, are there any days where I have to work a ton of hours? As a developer, a mobile developer, there are some days, and they're unpredictable, where I have to go tell my wife, hey, wife and kids, I have some work to do tonight, and I'm going to really need you to just let me get this done. Maybe it'll go till 6 p.m., 7, 8. Very rarely will I have like a 12-hour to 14-hour day, and those are really unpredictable. I have gotten pretty good at maintaining my ability to keep a family life outside of work hours, and that has been one huge blessing of a developer job. Because as a developer, you are required to do coding and peer reviews and pull request reviews, all that. As a developer, you have to do all those things. So the business, by the business, I mean the people who kind of control the workloads, they realize that developers can't always be working 80-hour weeks. So the work tends to be planned out ahead of time to be balanced, and they realize that developers focus better when they're rested. So we make better code, which translates to saving time and money. We make better code when we're rested, and we have a life outside of coding. So that's kind of a nutshell of what my day looks like. I did leave out that I will go on walks. During the summer, fall, and spring, not winter here in Minnesota, we will have weather where it's conducive for an outdoor walk. So I love to get out there and get some sun. And that is very possible with a developer job. If you're wondering what it's like to take breaks and all that, they're never recorded. There's no time recording. There's no time reporting, I should say. There are no time cards and things like that, at least at any of the jobs I've worked at, unless I've been in a contracting position, which I am not right now. In a contracting position, I would, of course, build into every hour probably 5 to 10 minutes of not staring at code. But as a salaried employee, it's kind of expected that you are supposed to stay attentive, and that requires you getting up out of your chair, once an hour or more. So I will go and take a walk during spring, summer, and fall. Twice probably a day, about a mile walk each time. Clear your mind. It really gets me thinking about problem solving. And sometimes when I'm stuck on a problem for several days and I can't figure out how this code works and how to solve it with code, taking those walks has been vital and crucial. I'll just walk and pray, and I will get a break that way. The key takeaway from this quick episode is essentially if you want to be a developer, you're looking at some overtime sometimes, but usually it's a pretty normative, regular schedule. And the exception would be a startup. If you work for a startup, which I have before, you will have maybe more intense hours, but the business owners usually recognize that developers need time to relax. So that's very good. A developer job is a pretty good job, and it pays well. So that's that. If you would like to be on this podcast, on a longer one, of course, and you would like to be interviewed or coached on the air, as a recording, you can do that. So make sure you check out the show links in the show notes. And also make sure that you subscribe to this if you'd like. And tell your friends. If you know people looking to try to get into a tech career and they're in their 30s and 40s, do that. Tell them about this on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening. So that's about that. Hope to hear from you in an application if you'd like. I hope this has been helpful for you to understand the life of a real developer and what you get to look forward to when you make the switch if you're going to be a developer.